Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Sandy, and we're two tenderfoot tourists.
Every day is a new day.
Welcome to episode 101, St. Louis and Route 66. Today on Two Tenderfoot Tourists, we'll be talking about Uranus, Missouri.
And the original concrete at Drewes Frozen Custard.
Both on Route 66.
Where you are to go. I take you there, my love. Where you wanna go. I take you there, my
So if you've been listening to our podcast for any length of time, you're going to know that we love to spend a lot of time at
Classic Rock Coffee Company in Republic. It's owned by our friend Greta. And we tend to go there way too much. We probably have spent a lot of money there.
It kind of goes like Walmart and Classic Rock in the checkbook.
But the thing is, we really enjoy the drinks and the food and the people.
I know you're not a coffee drinker.
Oh, I hate coffee.
But I drink coffee, and I hands down like the coffee they serve at Classic Rock a lot more than Starbucks.
Well, you know, I do like chai tea, lattes, and fraps. And I've discovered a hot chocolate frap that I love there. So I have my own problems.
Yeah.
With the sugar addiction there. But we're addicted to the people too.
We are.
We went there for breakfast as usual. We've talked about different places that we want to try. We like to try different.
And the one thing they don't have around here is something Greta loves.
Right. Her and her son Chuck both are just totally in love with Shake Shack.
Yep.
We had never even heard of Shake Shack.
Yeah.
Obviously, we aren't getting around as much as we should. But they said that if there was one here, they'd eat there all the time.
Yeah, well, the quick search on the internet, we found there's one up in Kansas City and St. Louis.
Right.
So anyway, she said Shake Shack is like the best burger around. Even through our videos, research, and everything, everybody seems to think that Shake Shack does make the best burger.
Exactly. And jokingly, she turned and she said, "You ought to just drive up to St. Louis and have one." And Steve goes, "Yeah, honey, let's do that." I said, "Okay, let's do that." And we're all kind of joking, sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
20 minutes later, we're in the car headed to St. Louis.
That was so much fun.
It was. I love doing that. You know, that is the plus side to having an empty nest.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, Liv, will you just go feed the dog at something in the evening and we're good.
We're good to go. Now, if we didn't have pets.
Then we could really go. We could leave like for a week if we decided to and if our jobs would let us go.
So I'm just going to let everybody know, if you hear this, is because we are currently sipping on a Classic Rock.
You had better stop it. And since that is pretty much, we're almost centered between them, we decided we'd head to St. Louis since we know St. Louis.
And also on top of that, we could follow along Route 66 as well.
Exactly.
So we can have something to bring to you guys. So 3.5 hours later, 20 minutes later, we're heading towards St. Louis. And in my job, I pass by this thing 1,000 times, you know, and I've always wanted to stop there. It's like a brand new location on the Route 66.
You know, growing up, I remember taking trips with my parents, and when this was a big deal with my mom and Charlie, that when we took trips, we drove. We didn't fly. They would stop at these roadside attractions that were built literally just for tourists.
Yep.
And this is what this place reminds me of. And I mean, there's such funny, silly, goofy things there. I had a great time.
It is pretty cool.
Just be forewarned, if you go to Uranus, Missouri, be prepared for juvenile humor.
I don't know if you could say it any better than that.
You could go childish, but I'd say juvenile because it pushes the appropriateness a little there.
Yeah.
But
some things that, frankly, we can't mention here on it because I'm afraid we'd offend somebody.
So we've agreed to keep this family friendly, and some would not consider it family friendly because it does ride that line.
Now, my question is, would we have taken our 15 and 16-year-old kids to that?
Yes.
Yes, in a heartbeat.
Would I have taken a 9-year-old?
No.
No, probably not.
Well,
Because I don't want them repeating it.
No.
And they wouldn't have enough sense not to, most likely.
That's true.
I'm dying to take our adult sons and our daughter-in-law and our daughter. I'm dying to get them all in a car and go there because they will all think it's hilarious.
So, Uranus Fudge Factory, and that's not how they pronounce it there, just to FYI. We're keeping it friendly. But, Uranus Fudge Factory is an interesting little stop off right off of I-44. You just hang right on exit 163 and it's just outside of Fort Leonard Wood.
Right. And it's really cute little town looking section. I don't know what else you call it. You pull into the parking lot and all across one side it looks like just a little old West town almost, you know.
It really does.
But it's got a mixture of things. It's so, would you say eclectic? I don't know.
I don't know what you would call it.
But there's a double-decker bus. There's dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
the
rocket.
largest belt buckle in the world, I guess.
The largest belt buckle in the world. Yep. There are the cutout things that you can stand behind and put your face through. I'm not going to tell you what it looks like. You have to go yourself and find out.
In fact, you can go to www.uranusmissouri.com.
And you'll see lots of stuff.
Yeah.
There are escape rooms and a sideshow museum. Mm-hmm. Then there's a restaurant.
Chicken bones.
There is a axe throwing area, but I think they're working on it right now, right?
Yeah, they're remodeling right now, along with the gun range they have in the back.
Which I didn't even know about until we watched a video today.
Yeah.
So, and we'll definitely have to go back for that sometime. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do both of those things there.
And they also have the Fudge Factory, the general store that's got the fudge and all the merchandise and
right. And honestly, that's a really nice little store. I mean, of course, it's mostly souvenir type stuff, but totally go in there. It's a lot of fun.
A lot of Route 66 memorabilia too.
They will greet you when you come in. It's worth hearing. They will.
If you got a good sense of humor.
They will give you a goodbye that is quite interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you want to page somebody in the store, it gets pretty fun too. Just saying.
It's so funny. I'm sorry. I'm very juvenile, but that is pretty funny right there.
But it's a good time.
Who you are.
If you go in with the right, well, I say the right attitude, it kind of depends on perception. Mm-hmm. But if you go in thinking, okay, this is going to be pushing the envelope a little bit and just kind of write it out, it's pretty funny.
It is.
They've got t-shirts. They've got the fudge. We tried the fudge. Mm-hmm. We got two different kinds. We had the Heath and we had the raspberry vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You loved the raspberry vanilla the most.
I did.
I liked the Heath. I could have sat there and eaten that Heath all day and it probably would have made me so sick.
It would have.
But we just got one square of each. And this is not like big squares. This is about the size of an average brownie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was amazing.
It was very good. So the fudge is worth trying.
Yeah, it totally is. Did you mention the escape rooms that they have available?
I did. I said escape rooms. Aren't you proud of me?
I am so proud of you. So they have like several different escape rooms there. They have one for Tesla. I didn't see this. They have this one for the jail. It's 10 minutes, 2 clues, and you're handcuffed to another person.
Oh, I want to do that one.
There's that one. There's one where you're looking through Nikolai Tesla's room after his death. Da Vinci's office and Tomb of Doom. Okay. And, each one of them, they're anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour long, and they looked very entertaining. We saw 2 people go through 2 of them. We saw
on a video.
Couple, yeah.
And the rumor is that they were taking the rocket that's out front and making it into an escape room. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering if...
Because it was going to... The rumor is that they're going to have it on hydraulics and all that. That would be incredible.
That would be incredible. And that was... they recorded that in January, so who knows where they'll be in the next year.
Just a fair warning, if you decide to travel through Missouri in January, it's cold.
It is
January
cold.
and February, it's cold. November, not too bad, just iffy with Missouri. You never know. December, same. You hit January and February, it's cold.
Whether you like it or not.
And you're probably going to have sleet or ice. We have a little snow once in a while, but mostly we get that stupid freezing rain. Okay, something else that is in at Uranus is the Muny Creamery and Funnel Cakery. They have ice cream, funnel cake, hamburgers and fries and much more.
And the cool thing about this place is it's in a covered area. It's got the little picnic tables. It's out in the open. Then I even saw, did I see correctly while we were there? There was that double-decker bus that you can go and you can sit in and eat too, or?
Yes, and actually, if I understood correctly from the video that we watched, you can also have a party on the bus.
Party on the bus.
So if, like when you rent an area, I think that's the case there too, which I thought was a cool idea.
Mm-hmm. How'd you pronounce the place? The creamery?
Moonicorn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was looking at the menu here, and they have all kinds. They got chicken sandwiches, hamburgers, nachos, foot-long hot dog. The menu actually doesn't look too half bad, but it is an a la carte though. You pay like $4.50 for a hamburger, but if you want fries, you have to pay an extra $1.50. So you're looking at $6 for.
That's still not bad for a burger and fries.
No. Although I don't know how much their drinks cost, so who knows. Anyway, but it's not that bad.
But if you're stopping off, especially if you're traveling very far, it would be a great place to just stop off and be on your feet for a few minutes.
That's true. And you know what? The place is kind of charming.
It really is. It's not likely that you're going to leave there without grinning a little bit.
Yeah. Especially if you got a sense of humor. If you don't have a sense of humor, don't go.
Yeah, don't go if you're not a joker. You gotta be a joker.
Okay, but Uranus Fudge Factory, right off of I-44. You just hang right on exit 163, and it's just outside of Fort Leonard Wood.
Yes.
The address is actually St. Robert's.
Yes.
So, anyway, check it out. Let us know what you think. Tell us if you hate it or you love it.
We'll definitely go back.
Oh yeah, we've
got more time to mess around.
No joke.
We saw that and decided that is definitely a stop off. Yeah. And we finally make it to St. Louis.
Yes.
To the Shake Shack about 3:00.
Yes.
It was really interesting because we originally had talked about parking in a parking garage.
Mm-hmm.
But then you decided right before we got there, I'm just going to see if there's any parking nearby. And we ended up parking on the street for free, about a block away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the walk was actually not too bad. I mean, it was hot out, but it wasn't really that bad.
No, and it wasn't that bad at all. It was a nice day though.
Well, and really in the area we parked, there was a lot of older buildings and they were in really good repair.
Mm-hmm.
So it was beautiful.
I agree.
The side of the architecture and all the greenery and the flowers. It was really a nice walk. It was beautiful out there.
It was nice.
So good job, St. Louis. Now, we didn't stay a long time. We just went and parked, walked to the restaurant, ate, walked back to the car and left, but I loved it.
Yeah, it was very relaxing actually.
Makes me want to go back. And I did say, when we left, what did I say? I was really sad that we didn't get to go enjoy the one place we love the most in St. Louis area.
Oh,
Forest Park.
Yeah, Forest Park, yeah.
Yeah, we love Forest Park.
It's right next door to Forest Park.
And it's gorgeous.
Shake Shack, yeah.
If you've never been to Forest Park in St. Louis, you should go. First of all, you can go park in there for free.
Mm-hmm.
You can walk around in there for free.
Oh, yeah.
You can go to museums there for free. The zoo is free.
Yeah.
There's parking for the zoo that is not free, but you can park in the park if you're willing to walk over.
Mm-hmm.
Free.
Yeah. It's all free.
So all you have to pay for is your food, your drinks, and getting there,
Yeah, in fact, you and I are the kind of people, it's like, well, if you're going to give free admission to get into the zoo or whatever it is, we will come away with something.
Yeah, if we don't buy food or drink there, then we'll usually buy a souvenir.
Right. Yeah, so Shake Shack, wait around to the end of the podcast. I want to let you know what we think of their food there.
Yeah.
So what's next on the list? What else did we visit that's Route 66 related?
Steve's driving me to this place called Ted Drewes
Frozen Custard.
Yes, Ted Drewes Frozen Custard. And we pull up to this place, and there's people everywhere.
This place right there, it was built in 1941. It's celebrating this year its 90 years of being in St. Louis, and it is like one of the big places that they want something sweet, that's where they go. And the place, it looks like a home. Just from looking at the structure, we saw, okay, what does that remind you of?
Okay, I'm a little different. We both are. We tend to refer back to movies and TV and songs a lot.
It's pathetic.
And I look at this building and I couldn't help but smile a little bit. And I think you asked me, didn't you, what it reminded me of?
Yeah, so what does that remind you of?
And it has these it's just like a trim around the building, and it looks like icicles hanging down.
Right.
He asked me what it reminded me of, and I was like, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
And then I said, Jack Frost.
Jack Frost.
It reminded me of Jack Frost.
And, I mean,
Immediately.
It's crazy how much it reminded us. I almost wish they update their paint job to make it look more like the animated, because it is really cute. But the place was just very simple looking. But I'm telling you, it was packed. I mean, you don't go in, but
there's pictures on
there's
Instagram that shows you how packed it is.
Oh yeah, there's people everywhere, and nobody cared that they
No.
had to wait in line. And the line went so fast, it was ridiculous.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I mean, it was like, boom, you're in there and
I
out
think we
again.
stood there even 5 minutes total.
Maybe.
And that's in line, ordering our concrete, and then
backing
getting
off
our
and
concrete.
getting it, yeah.
They were fast. The original Route 66 one was built in 1929.
Right.
But then Route 66 was moved, and they opened a new one on the new part of Route 66.
Right. There's a second one that was built in 1941.
Right.
The original,
and that one is
yeah.
still the one that's there.
That is correct. That is correct. And
What was the man's name that owned it?
are you talking about its current owner?
The man's name that owned it.
Ted Drewes.
Duh. Okay, so there was Ted Drewes Sr.
Yes.
And then Ted Drewes Jr. owned it.
Right.
And now Ted Drewes Jr.'s son-in-law
Son-in-law.
and daughter are the ones that own
are
it.
currently owning it, right?
And they said that Ted, who is in his 90s now, comes and visits it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
to think that's
His son-in-law Travis
Yes.
is who currently is managing and owns it.
and we really enjoyed it. It was very good. It's the original concrete.
Yeah, that's the fascinating thing about it. I mean, he's the one, Ted Drewes is the one that invented the concrete.
It's really funny if you think about it, because you and I talked about this the other day. I never knew concretes existed until Andy's Frozen Custard came in.
That's funny.
And then I thought they copied Dairy Queen's Blizzard. Come to find out, I'm pretty sure Dairy Queen copied Ted Drewes, baby.
I believe you're right.
Because Ted Drewes makes it the same way, where they run it up and down and they blend it really good, then they hold the cup upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that's how they got the name concrete, because it sticks like concrete. It doesn't
right.
fall out.
And it's delicious.
It is delicious. They had all kinds of neat stuff. I think mine was called the Cardinal Sin.
Mm-hmm.
And it had tart cherries and fudge.
Mm.
Oh, it was amazing.
Mine was the Dutchman.
Yes, and it was really good.
Pecans,
Fudge,
and one other thing.
Did it have
Butterscotch.
A butterscotch, that's what it was. So you had
Yeah.
pecans, fudge, and butterscotch, and it was rich, but it was delicious.
Oh, it was good. So I found a little article on directoryofstlouis.com. It's a blog. And someone wrote on September 20th of 2010 a little thing about Ted Drewes Frozen Custard. So it says, frozen concrete is a type of ice cream treat dreamed up by St. Louis legend Ted Drewes after a young customer came asking for his chocolate malt to be made thicker and thicker. Ted made a frozen custard so thick that it stays in the cup, even when what you just said. The first concrete may have been made as a joke, but it turned out to be Ted's best-selling yummiest item.
Dang right. They also do sundaes and other little treats there too.
In fact, if you go to our Instagram page, you'll see that I put up the menu that's on the side of the building on there. So you can check that out.
And you can see that it's just an old-fashioned menu too. It's just incredible.
It's one of those little plastic peg things with the letters.
And there was, if you look in there, they had some written on paper that they stuck up in there too. And I'm just like, yes, this is my type of place.
So Ted Drewes Frozen Custard has been in St. Louis since the first stand opened in 1930, believe it or not. There are only two locations on South Grand and the other one on Chippewa. Chippewa is the one that we visited. This doesn't stop the customers who happily eat the desserts in the car and tailgate or just hovering around the parking lot, which we kind of did. Yeah.
It was so hot. Otherwise, we probably would have just hung out outside of there and eaten it, but it was really hot. So we did. We sat in our car and ate and then went and chucked it in their dumpster.
Yeah, that's true. I couldn't finish mine. Mine was so rich.
I'm not even going to talk about it.
Despite the lack of indoor seating, the main stand on Chippewa is open 11 months out of the year. During the holidays, they keep business hopping by selling Christmas trees.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot about the Christmas trees.
So
we didn't know about that until we read about it later.
No, I know. Ted Drewes Jr. Says the store has asked to open up franchises on many occasions, but the family runs the business refuses to trade hands on equally for larger national reach. So they refuse to franchise. Okay, not that Ted Drewes hasn't attracted some national attention. As the inventor of the concrete and one of the country's best frozen custard stands, Ted Drewes has been featured on several TV shows, magazines throughout the years. Alton Brown stopped by in 2016 while filming.
Alton Brown?
Yeah, Alton Brown. Feasting on Asphalt, and Food Network magazine listed it as one of America's best comfort foods in 2010.
They're huge.
They
you know
are
what?
huge.
I don't blame them. If they're doing that well and that's what they want to keep the focus right there so it's somewhere for people to travel to go to.
Right.
All power to them.
Well, and if you go to their website, which is teddrewes.com, you can find out that a lot of the St. Louisians, can I say that? St. Louisians, that's what it says here, and tourists alike, they, after visiting the Arch or Fox and Muny theaters, St. Louis Zoo, or the Cardinals baseball game, they just all congregate there. So that gets pretty, it gets pretty full. But I mean, did you feel crowded at all?
No. There was a ton of people there and I didn't feel crowded at all. The only time I got confused at all, what was my one suggestion? There are several order windows that you can go to.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
But they're also pickup windows.
There's the same as the order window is the pickup window.
All of them are. And it's really kind of confusing. I mean, it's not terrible. Like I said, we still got what we were supposed to get.
Especially if you're a noob.
You order and then you step away and wait for them to yell out your order. Well, if somebody else got the same thing,
yeah,
they might get your order. I personally think they should have pickup windows and order windows. But hey, they've been doing it a lot longer than I've known they even existed. So obviously they're doing something right.
Okay, so just to touch upon the whole Christmas tree aspect, which by the way, I wish we could do this. This would be so much fun. Just like Ted Cruz's frozen custard, Ted Drewes' Christmas trees have become a St. Louis tradition. Each fall, this is from their website at teddrewes.com. Ted or Travis, his son-in-law, travel to their tree farm in Nova Scotia, where they personally select and grow the best Canadian balsam fir Christmas trees to bring home to St. Louis. We have people buy their trees from us year after year, and they don't even know we're selling frozen custard. That's what Ted.
It is funny.
It is hilarious.
Well, if you think about the decor of the building, not that it's a lot of decor, but the whole icicles hanging down like we talked about, snowdrift, whatever you want to call it. It fits what they're selling the trees too.
It really
so
does.
It totally makes sense.
It's awesome.
That's awesome. I love it.
So anyway,
Ted Drewes.
Ted Drewes. It's 100% worth stopping by and risking you getting, what is that called, where you have a
sugar coma?
No, that too. Having, what is it, diabetes? Yeah. What is the other thing you can get from, is it diabetes the only thing else that you can get from eating too much sugar?
Hypoglycemia? I don't know.
I mean, also, yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you.
It is really good.
Makes your teeth hurt. No, I'm serious. It was really good though. I enjoyed it and I'm glad it's not here locally or I would be in trouble.
The guy, Ted Drewes, is has an interesting story. I recommend that you look it up. I mean, look him up and find what his back. He was a professional tennis player in Florida. And he actually opened up one of these stands in Florida. I can't remember where. Don't ask me where. I don't remember. And so he decided he was going to bring one up here to
put on Route 66.
Route 66. He opened another store on the Natural Bridge Road in St. Louis and another one in South Grand Store, and then another one in 1941 on Chippewa.
Quite the entrepreneur.
He was. And you know what? That's awesome. I like those kind of stories.
Well, back on to
Route 66.
After all of our sugar, we headed back home. And again came across signs for Merrimack Caverns, which you see them all up and down 44.
I see them in Illinois.
Wow.
I'm not kidding you. If you drive anywhere within like about a 50-mile radius of St. Louis, you're going to see them on the side of barns.
Okay. You're 49 years old and I'm 48 years old. How many times have we been to Merrimack Caverns in our life?
That is a sum total of 0.
It's insane. We're not that far from it. And we both traveled that direction a ton of times.
Mm-hmm.
Never been to Merrimack Caverns. Well, we decided, you know what? We're not on a schedule. We're just headed home. So we took the detour and took the exit for Merrimack Caverns.
Mm-hmm.
And we drove down in there. And I say down in there because you drive through a little town,
Mm-hmm.
then back into the woods.
Yep.
And then by the time you come out of the woods, you're down by Merrimack River.
Now, the drive down into that, just through the woods, is beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous. You have this beautiful green canopy above your head.
It's a very scenic feel, you know?
Oh, yeah. And as you come out, you start seeing over to your left, you can see through the trees a little bit that there's water.
Yeah.
And it opens up to campgrounds and...
What looks like well-manicured grass.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The campground area is kind of interesting to me. I said it's like this park.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's perfect looking grass, perfect looking trees.
With a canopy of trees over your...
It's very pretty. They also have lodging available. They have canoeing. We saw rafts over to the side and we saw kayakers.
Zip lining.
They did have a zip line. I forgot about the zip line. I'm glad you mentioned that. And of course, the main draw is the cave tours.
Right.
What was the deal? Jesse James.
Yeah, Jesse James and the gang all had a hideout in there, supposedly.
Inside the cavern, right?
Right.
Very cool.
So there are prices. You do have to pay to get into the cave, by the way. It's $22 adult in 2019 here. Kids are $12, ages 5 to 11. Children under 4 are free. I wish we had a little more time to actually go in there. It's a mile and a quarter. It's a mile and a quarter of a round trip in order to get, you can expect to be in there for 20 to 30 minutes.
If you're standing at the bottom, the height is about the same as a 7-story building.
That is cool.
We didn't go in. We didn't get to enjoy any of the stuff that was there. We just got to, we were just able to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very, very intriguing. We are definitely going back sometime.
Eventually. That'd be kind of cool, right?
Yes.
So you have like a restaurant there too, don't you? Isn't it? Don't you have a place to eat?
You know what? I think there might have been. Hold on. Let me go back and look here.
So, riverboat rides, canoe floats.
That Mitchin one.
Canoe floats.
Wow. Canoe floats. Seriously though, we did see boats going up and down the
restaurant.
We did see boats going up and down the river. Motorized boats.
Yes.
Which kind of surprised me because most rivers you usually see canoes and
the
sort.
According to the website, enjoy a relaxing history-filled half-hour-long excursion on the Merrimack River aboard a canopy-topped riverboat called the Cavern Queen. The first Cavern Queen 1 and 2. There's 2 boats. Can each hold 25 passengers. Boats run April through September, depending upon weather and river conditions. Okay, so there is a restaurant. Enjoy homestyle cooking, snack bar, and 28 flavors of ice cream. The restaurant can seat up to ice cream. It's not Ted Drewes.
No, that's true.
The restaurant can sit up to 250 people.
That would be seat.
Yeah, seat. You can rent it out for family reunions, parties, stuff like that. That's all available to you there. So I would like to see what it looks like though, personally. Anyway, so. I
think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think so too. So lodging there, the Merrimack Cavern Motel is there also. And you know what? The prices are extremely reasonable.
They're not bad. I was looking at the rates for camping and for the, hotel. The motel, I mean. And, I mean, it says a regular room, $65. Extra person, $6. Pet charge, $10. That's 30 pounds and under.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, camping, it says for a primitive site, $19. That's no hookups, and that's per tent. So if you have 3 tents, you're going to pay $19 per tent. So, I mean, that's not bad. That's reasonable.
No, it certainly is. I'm looking, I know this is going to be bad. Oh, okay. I'm looking up on a TripAdvisor. You know, the one thing that you and I always encourage people before they actually
TripAdvisor.
Check out TripAdvisor, see what people are saying. I'm doing that right now.
And And look at,
while we're recording.
When you look at these reviews, don't just pick out one review and go, oh, we better not do it. That's a bad review. Look at a lot of reviews and see if they're consistently complaining about the same things. And pay attention to the type of things people say. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes they've just got a bone to pick with somebody.
Yeah, it could be like a disgruntled employee going like, I'll stick it to them right now and blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. So. But if you have 2 or 3 different reviews that say, okay, the hotel just wasn't very clean, then the hotel probably isn't very clean.
It's very possible, especially if they all mention the same exact problem.
Type of problem,
like,
right.
It's like,
like
why
the
is
bathtub.
it dirty? like mold.
Gag.
Okay, so June 2019, someone said, nice place to stay. That's just a headline. Friendly staff, et cetera, et cetera. Let me see. This gave them 5 stars or 5 pips, I guess, if you want to call them. Great stop. Amazing. Beautiful park, caves at hotel, fantastic exploration of the caverns. So far, people are saying nice things about it. Let me see what it says when it says terrible. That's one of the first places I go. Good place to shower and get some AC. Bad service, though. But that was July of 2012.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, and that was the only bad review. How about poor? There's only one poor. Unless you like your showers with temperamental. I don't know if they knew what they're spelling there. TEMPMENTAL. Temp mental. Okay. Water temperature.
I don't know. That probably means it goes back and forth. I'm really not sure.
Maybe. But anyway, it seems like it's got nothing but good reviews.
Well, that's cool. Well, if you want to find Merrimack Caverns, you just take I-44 west from St. Louis, approximately 60 miles to exit 230. That's at Stanton, Missouri. Take a left, passing over the railroad tracks, and continue for 3 miles. And it says you can't miss it.
No, you really can't.
No, you can't. You drive right into it. It is beautiful. Again, if you like that type of thing, that's a great little hidey hole.
You know, the cool thing about Stanton is its distance from St. Louis and also from Springfield. It's really not that far away. It's more closer to St. Louis than it is Springfield. But
it is. I could see if I lived in St. Louis, I could see us going and spending weekends there to get away.
Yeah, no problem at all right there. Yeah, I highly recommend it, at least just from the first glance of TripAdvisor and from our like glance down there at the actual parking lot.
And I just saw a little quote, and it was saying that Merrimack Caverns is Missouri's buried treasure.
Oh.
That's pretty good.
That is it. It kind of reminds me of what the governor said about Hot Springs. It was the diamond of Arkansas. Remember how he said this? Like it's
I liked it.
I really liked it.
We could get sidetracked talking about Hot Springs. We loved it down there.
Yes, we did.
What a great number of things that you can see. We didn't even see a fraction of what you can see.
Especially when it comes to the Route 66.
Right. Keep looking into Route 66, folks. There's so much to see. And if you love history, there's so much to see.
And you know what? We'd like to also encourage you that if you have a favorite Route 66 destination, please let us know. Write us on Facebook or Instagram, or you can email us at tenderfoottourist@gmail.com.
You know, we talked about Uranus, Shake Shack, Ted Drewes, and Merrimack Caverns.
Yes.
So we talked about quite a few things. And by the way, what did we think of Shake Shack's burgers?
Some of the best burgers we've ever eaten.
They're really good. By the way, their chicken nuggets are amazing.
Oh my goodness. Okay, no one talks about their chicken nuggets.
No, and I ate them without the sauce. It was not worth the sauce. I mean, the nuggets were good by themselves. So, if you get a chance, try a Shake Shack.
Oh, definitely.
And if you find one that sucks, let us know, because so far, yum.
Very consistent, from what I've been told about them. Okay, so wow, that wraps up another episode, right?
I know. And guess what I'm going to say?
What's that?
This was a really great episode.
It really was.
I beat you. Thank you so much for listening to episode 101, St. Louis and Route 66.
Two Tenderfoot Tourists is a family-friendly podcast. If you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe at Apple Podcast, Podbean, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Spotify, just to name a few.
To get in touch with us and chat about this podcast or even your travel experiences, simply email us at tenderfoottourist@gmail.com or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And don't forget to check out our new website at twotenderfoottourist.com. That's I knew I was losing it. At And don't forget to check out our new website at twotenderfoottours.com. That's TWO tenderfoottours.com.
Keep those suggestions coming, and maybe you'll give us our best episode of 2019. I'm Steve.
And I'm Sandy.
Until next time.
Stay tender.